So in Australia, this second generation Apple Pencil costs $200. That's the equivalent of 24 96-page notebooks, or 465 HB pencils, or 25,316 sheets of A4 paper from Officeworks. So is it really worth buying? Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new here, my name is Nick and I'm into all things tech, business and reading. And today I'm going to try and answer the age-old question that writers have been battling over for centuries, and that is the Apple Pencil really worth buying? Now, just to let you know, my purpose in owning an iPad is mainly for productivity purposes. I actually did a whole nother video on that. If you're interested, you can check that out. But I say that to give you a bit of a frame of reference as to where I'm coming from in my thoughts on whether or not I think the Apple Pencil is actually worth it. You might have entirely different uses and purposes for your Apple Pencil, in which case you might find the Apple Pencil much more useful or much less useful depending on what you use it for. But for me, I generally use it for productivity purposes, and that's the reference point I'm going to make this video based on. So to save you watching the entire video, I'll tell you straight up, yes, I find the Apple Pencil to be worth it for me. And overall, the reason for that is because of the reduction in friction that the pencil brings into my life. And what I mean by that is, in the past when I wanted to do things like do some journaling or take some notes or even just do a little bit of art, the amount of effort that it would take to do those things was enough of a barrier for me as a really lazy person to not actually do them at all. Whereas because I'm often carrying my iPad around with me and I can just easily clip the Apple Pencil onto the side of the iPad, it's always there and ready to go. I can just pull it off and start writing or doing whatever I want to do. So for example, if I wanted to create a journaling habit and I was wanting to use a traditional pen and journal, then chances are, for me personally, I probably wouldn't be bothered carrying around the journal with me everywhere. I'd probably just leave it at home on my bedside table. So half the time, even when I wanted to do some journaling, I can't do it if I'm not in my bedroom. And then even if I am in my bedroom, I have to make sure the pencil's sharp, I have to make sure there's enough pages in the journal. And of course, I have to periodically buy new pencils and new journals. And of course, these are all relatively minor things. But for someone like me, they just add up quite quickly and end up becoming barriers in which I don't even end up journaling at all. However, since I'm often carrying my iPad around with me, whether it's at work or at home, I can just quickly unlock it and I've got an unlimited journal in which I can quickly start writing away in. And that reduction in kind of the barrier to entry for doing things like that for me is what has made the Apple Pencil really valuable. And so in the rest of this video, I'm just going to break down some of the different things that I practically use my Apple Pencil for. It'll be less of a technical review and more of a practical review in case you're interested in the types of things that I actually find the pencil useful for and things that you might find it also useful for. So there are really four main things that I use my Apple Pencil for, and that is learning, brainstorming, journaling, and a little bit of art. Now again, you may do all four of these things or you may do none of these things, although I hope you do a little bit of learning somewhere. But these are just the four areas that I have personally found the Apple Pencil to be most useful, so it may be different in your personal situation. So first up, in the learning department, I found the Apple Pencil really good in terms of taking notes when I'm learning something new. For example, I might be learning something in a class, or I might be learning something new at work, or I might be taking notes from a book that I'm reading at the moment. And you've probably heard the fact that handwriting things rather than typing things actually helps with your memory and recall. And I've personally found this to be quite true. It makes me really wish that I had this iPad back in my uni days and the pencil back in my uni days, because I really struggle to remember a lot of what I typed out on my laptop in a lot of those classes. Maybe that's just university, I don't know. But either way, I've definitely found handwriting notes really helps me remember things better and also understand things better. Pretty much all the notes I take in GoodNotes, which I find to be a really great note-taking app. I love how you can quickly just select your pen, your size, your color, you can change your highlight color, and it just feels really great to write on the iPad. I love how you can use the eraser or the undo tool to quickly correct your mistakes rather than just scribbling it out in a physical journal. And it's also cool that you can import documents into GoodNotes, like PDFs or images, and you can mark them up and write all over them, which again would have been really handy for me in uni, but alas, I've graduated. So overall, I find the Apple Pencil to be a really great tool for learning. So the second thing that I really love about the Apple Pencil is brainstorming on my iPad. Again, I use GoodNotes for brainstorming, but I love to be able to draw out a bit of a brain map in GoodNotes, particularly with my YouTube channel, as I'm always looking for new ideas and trying to think of new ideas for videos, and getting my ideas out of my head onto paper in a more structured manner really helps me to capture ideas that I've already thought of, but also think outside the box a little bit and come up with even more new ideas. Of course, I do all of this brainstorming stuff in a separate journal in GoodNotes, and that's another thing I love about GoodNotes is the fact that you can create basically unlimited journals with different covers and styles. It's really cool. But that's a whole different YouTube video. Now, the third thing that I really love about my Apple Pencil is journaling. And to be honest, journaling is actually the thing that I use my Apple Pencil the most for. For most of my adult life, I've kept a journal kind of on and off over the years, and it's been really good because I'm a person who tends to get a bit stuck in my own head and thoughts, and so getting it out on paper or on a screen really helps me to clear my head, and it's a really therapeutic experience for me. But I have noticed that using a pen rather than typing on a keyboard really helps me to get my thoughts and feelings out more clearly somehow. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I originally started writing in paper journals, and I quickly amassed a stack of journals, and that's what made me go to digital. I started typing my journal just on my laptop. But the iPad and the Apple Pencil is kind of the best of both worlds because you can write like you would in a journal, but it's all stored digitally, so you don't have a massive pile of old notebooks that you're just storing away in storage. And the other really cool thing is that within GoodNotes, you can search digitally through all your handwritten notes, which is super handy and useful. Finally, the last thing that I use my Apple Pencil for is creativity and a little bit of art. Now, I create all of my YouTube thumbnails now in Procreate, and the Apple Pencil is pretty much an indispensable tool when you're using Procreate. Now, I used to use Photoshop for my thumbnails, and it's probably a better program to create thumbnails in, but Procreate is just so much cheaper. It's a one-off payment of like $12. You've got it for life, whereas Photoshop, as you're probably aware, is quite expensive, and it's a monthly ongoing subscription. Now, I've always loved drawing, a little bit of painting as well, and so I find Procreate the best program for just doing a little bit of drawing when I feel like it, a little bit of art, and I find that really relaxing and therapeutic. I probably should do a bit more of it, to be honest. So there you have it. For me and my lifestyle and what I want to achieve, the Apple Pencil is a really great addition. I think, again, it wouldn't be the end of the world if I didn't have it, because the iPad on its own is still a really great product. But let me know, do you have an Apple Pencil? What do you use it for? Do you think it's worth buying? Because of course there are so many different uses for an Apple Pencil, and everyone will use it for something slightly different. So I'm really keen to hear what you use yours for. If you're interested in more videos relating to things like iPads and tech, then be sure to check out my tech playlist. And other than that, I hope you have an absolutely great day, and I'll see you very soon in the next video.